The recruit raised his gun and aimed at the veterans, but the veterans showed no fear. Instead, they mocked the recruit for not daring to shoot. One veteran grabbed the barrel of the gun and even slapped the recruit. Sure enough, after hesitating for a few seconds, the recruit lowered his gun. The veterans grew even more unrestrained and continued their meal. Suddenly, a grenade was thrown inside. It turned out that since enlisting, the recruit had been constantly bullied by the veterans. He was forced to eat leftover food from the trash, play rock paper scissors against himself in the mirror, and only if he won could he leave. However, his submission only led to worse bullying. The recruit could only constantly comfort himself, telling himself to endure. Yet, a veteran about to be discharged threatened that he would cause trouble for the recruit's mother. The mother was the recruit's final line of defense. He endured the bullying precisely to avoid causing trouble for his mother. That night, while his teammate on guard duty was distracted, he snatched his gun, knocked him out, and then went to the dorm to find the veteran who was about to be discharged. After other soldiers heard the explosion, they came out and scolded the recruit. Then he began sweeping room by room, searching for the veteran who had bullied him the most. The gunshots woke the soldiers in the entire building. Mustering their courage, they walked to the door. As soon as they opened the dormitory door, the recruit appeared at the entrance. He asked if they had seen that veteran. The soldiers had no time to care about the veteran's whereabouts. They just wanted to calm the recruit down as quickly as possible. Only the soldier curled up in the corner escaped unharmed. It wasn't that the recruit hadn't noticed him, but that he intentionally spared him because he had once helped the recruit. The recruit searched the entire dormitory but couldn't find the veteran. Only the restroom remained. He began carefully searching it, and when he reached the last stall, the veteran suddenly slammed the door into him, trying to escape. The recruit quickly picked up the gun and shot the veteran in the leg. When he tried to fire again, the gun was suddenly out of bullets. To vent his anger, he directly used the gunstock to brutally beat the veteran. By then, reinforcements had arrived and caught him right on the spot. The recruit was taken to the interrogation room, but he refused to speak. It wasn't until he was arranged to meet his mother that she limped to him, crying, and said to him, "Why couldn't you endure a little longer? If you had just endured one more year, you could have been discharged." A man clips a paperclip onto a lady's skirt, bumps into her, and pretends to apologize. He then casually drops some thread on the ground and steps on it. The woman hurries away. Taking advantage of the chaos, the man secretly swipes the dice from the gambling table, heads to the bathroom, and uses a shoe polisher to smooth out the edges of the 4 and 3-point dice, ensuring they will always land on 7. Returning to the table, he easily wins thousands of dollars. The casino manager notices something's off and approaches to investigate. The man quickly swaps the cheating dice for regular ones, and, predictably, he loses the round. The manager picks up the dice to inspect them, and the man takes the opportunity to toss the fake dice into his juice. With no evidence, the manager has no choice but to let him exchange his chips. Just as he's about to leave, a waiter brings him the juice, and the manager spots the cheating dice. The man's companion, realizing he's in danger, purposefully bumps into the manager's bodyguard to create an escape route for him. The man rushes down the stairs, slams the door shut, and ties the handle with a rope, trapping the manager outside. Faced with armed pursuers, he's cornered and blows up a gas canister, then calmly exits the casino. After meeting up with his companion, they successfully escape. Special Forces soldier goes for a routine medical checkup, only to notice all the surveillance cameras are focused on him. Realizing something is off, he heads straight to the surveillance room to investigate, but is told everything is normal. Suspicious of a hacker breach, he quickly cuts the power to the entire monitoring room. At that moment, the hacker's computer loses all video footage. The soldier starts searching the room and soon finds a mysterious device. After some inquiry, he learns that the device does not belong to the surveillance room. Planning to take it back to the unit for further investigation, the hacker activates the device's self-destruct mechanism to prevent exposure. Seeing the countdown timer, the soldier assumes it's a bomb, immediately evacuates the area, and uses his body to pin it down. When the countdown ends, it doesn't explode but emits a puff of smoke. Just then, a drone flies past. Realizing something is wrong, he resolves to track down the hacker's location. He pursues the drone but fails to catch up. In the process, he hijacks a police car, only to be mistaken for a fugitive by the police. The authorities quickly catch up and bring him to the station. His superior arrives to explain the misunderstanding and has him released. However, as they prepare to leave, the Special Forces soldier notices the police cameras are still watching him. The hacker is still monitoring his every move. A janitor noticed rust on the screws used in a nuclear power plant, and took several photos to report it. However, the duty officer mistook him for stealing parts and questioned him. The janitor explained that the screws had rust stains, and there was a serious issue with the batch of parts. If these screws were used in the nuclear plant, the consequences would be severe. The officer immediately reported the situation to the project manager. After an inspection, the manager blamed the problem on the warehouse's humidity and claimed the janitor had accidentally wet the screws during cleaning. The janitor angrily argued that their cleaning was done according to strict regulations, and the real problem was with the galvanizing process. The technician mocked him for not understanding the process and told him to stop causing trouble. The manager, dismissing the concerns, ordered the screws to be used anyway. However, during the nuclear plant installation and testing testing phase, alarms went off in the control room. The lifting cable broke, forcing the project to halt. Upon further inspection, they found that many screws had rusted. The manager regretted not heeding the warnings. The janitor had anticipated this and had already contacted alternative suppliers. The manager was curious about how a janitor knew so much, including where to find new suppliers. Soon, she uncovered the janitor's true identity. The man was about to overtake a truck when the driver suddenly spat a mouthful of saliva right onto his windshield. Disgusted and furious, he couldn't swallow this insult. He stopped the truck, confronted the driver, and demanded an apology. The driver didn't move. Calmly, the man took the driver's hat, wiped off the spit with it, and handed it back.
这次算我原谅你。
He then pulled out his phone to call the police, only to find there was no signal. Just then, another man climbed down from the truck. Both of them sneered at him, clearly unafraid. One of them even unzipped his pants, and before the man could react, he urinated right into the driver's seat. The man froze, unable to comprehend how things had gotten this humiliating. Meanwhile, not far away, an armed robber was loading his gun, waiting to ambush a passing vehicle. Back on the road, the man was forced to drive behind the disgusting truck, his car filled with the unbearable smell of urine. When he tried to overtake, the driver deliberately swerved, blocking his way. On his second attempt, the truck driver waved a beer bottle at him mockingly. That was the last straw. The man grabbed an empty cigarette box, lit a lighter, placed it inside, and tossed it into the pile of dry wood on the truck. Within seconds, the truck was engulfed in flames. The man kept a safe distance, watching as the two drivers scrambled out of the burning vehicle. A smug smile crept onto his face as he sped past, raising a mocking gesture. Finally, he felt relieved, justice served. But his relief was short-lived. Up ahead, a bald man pretended to have a flat tire, posing as a stranded driver. As the man drove uphill, the sunlight hit his cracked windshield, blinding him. The bald man smiled, expecting the car to stop, but instead, it struck him head-on. Horrified, the man jumped out and saw the bloodied figure lying on the ground. Panicking, he loaded the injured man into the car, desperate to find a hospital. But the road stretched endlessly, surrounded by nothing but wasteland. As the bald man's breathing grew weaker, the man begged him to hold on. Before he could finish his plea, the bald man went limp dead. Terrified, the man thought about fleeing, but in this desolate place, abandoning the car meant certain death. Meanwhile, the phone inside the bald man's truck rang non-stop. On the other end was his boss, who immediately sensed something was wrong. He started his engine and drove straight into the barren desert to find his missing man. Can the man make it through this no-man's land? The man was on the phone with his son, who was fighting for his life due to a severe heart condition. Desperate to save him, the man had taken control of the city's largest public hospital. Outside, a police sniper already had him in his sights. Listening to his son's weak voice over the phone, the man fought back tears, forcing himself not to cry. The moment he hung up, the sniper fired. Panic erupted among the hostages, but the man was lucky, the bullet only hit his shoulder. Surprisingly, none of the hostages seemed afraid. Instead, they cooperated with him willingly. However, one young man tried to take advantage of the situation and attacked him with pepper spray. Before he could react, a female hostage picked up the spray and blasted it into the young man's eyes. People around began to laugh rather than sympathize with him. A security guard even handed the man a pair of handcuffs, and they restrained the young man instead. Soon after, the man opened the hospital doors, allowing a pregnant woman and a mother with a baby to leave safely. Facing the media and the police, the remaining hostages shouted in his defense, insisting he wasn't a bad man.
Do you have any comments about the gunman? I'm good, very good man.
Moments later, the man captured the sniper as his own hostage and demanded to see his son. He only wanted to say goodbye one last time.
Not gonna bury my son! My son is gonna bury me!
Left with no choice, the police agreed. Inside, the doctor told him that without a new heart, his son wouldn't survive. The man looked at his son lying in the hospital bed and made a decision that stunned everyone.
Take my heart, and you put it in Mike.
He would give his own heart to save his child. He hadn't hurt anyone. He was just a father trying to save